What's a subtle sign of low intelligence? Lack of curiosity. You ever had to train or work with someone who just has no desire to know anything beyond what you're telling them or the why behind what they're doing? Every instruction needs to be laid out in painstaking detail? If an issue arises, Therese no desire to understand why or attempt to fix it, they just error out and stand there waiting for instruction? It's like programming a computer, but the computer is a human potato. This comment hurts. Man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the programmer and the potato. Man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the programmer and the potato. Original for the uninitiated. Man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor. Alexis Carrel. Inability to see from another perspective. So true. They just can't comprehend what you're trying to convey. I'm an engineer and I worked with a seemingly backwoods older guy, late 50s, couldn't use Excel for shit, read the Drudge Report every morning, in oil and gas, like literally one of the first things he said to me was, "So what do you think of the gays?" Lol. I'm Indian and was like, "Oh great, here we go." He started asking about my culture and the Browns and stuff, but eventually I realized he was genuinely curious, but he just didn't know how to present his questions more respectfully. Once I realized he was just trying to learn in his own way, I warmed up to him and we became friends. Yeah, he would randomly drop lines where I'd laugh and be like, "Dude, you can't say shit like that," but he was inherently a good person. Took good care of his family, tried giving me fatherly advice since I'm close to his son's age, shit like that. I guess the best way to describe him would be innocently ignorant, like he didn't know he was being racist or sexist or whatever, but he started checking himself when myself or our colleagues would say something to him. Worked with him for 8 years and never had a problem. Sometimes people are just not self-aware enough, but most of the time they are just assholes. You can either be open enough to listen to their side or just ignore them. I feel you. Met my wife 30 years ago and the first time I visited her parents it was total culture shock for everyone. I'm Punjabi, raised in liberal Western Wa, and she's from rural Alaska, Scandinavian homesteaders that are ultra-conservative. I showed up and things were awkward to say the least, until I went back into my to-be father-in-law's office and saw an electronic wonderland. Ham radios, various PCs, soldering tools, the works. I immediately started asking questions, talking about my computer stuff I was into, and lo and behold her dad and I were instant best friends. To this day anytime I see tech I find amazing, the first thing I do is text him and vice versa. People are products of their environment and I always take that into context when meeting someone new who superficially expresses opinions that I'd normally find offensive. Your girlfriend wife saw her dad in you. Your girlfriend wife saw her dad in you. Women marry their something. I think people are confusing signs of low intelligence with signs of being an asshole. Sometimes people are assholes simply because they cannot logic their way out of it. Frown. A wise man speaks because he has something to say, a fool speaks because he has to say something. People who confuse their opinions with facts. To add, people who think they know everything are generally pretty stupid. Smarter people will defer questions to qualified and experienced individuals because they are acutely aware of their own limitations, and that's what helps make them smart. They're not scared to admit they lack knowledge in certain topics or fields. And they will learn from that more experienced person to add to their library of knowledge and experience. Stupid people don't know they're stupid, they think they know everything, and won't seek out more experienced people and admit to their limitations, admit they don't know duck all about certain things. To add, I think intelligence in a large part is achieved through curiosity. If you think you already know everything, you are no longer curious. Your knowledge is then stuck in the state it was in when you decided to stop learning new things. Not understanding hypothetical questions. Believing anything they read on social media. Thinking people speaking a second language imperfectly means the person is stupid. I worked in a PT clinic where one of the therapists was taking on Spanish-speaking patients so he could improve his Spanish. He wasn't great, but he was definitely improving. It also allowed him to widen his patient list so he could be more valuable to the team. The other non-Spanish speaking therapists were making fun of him. It boggled my mind. This is a stupid question. Does PT means physical therapy? Yes, it does. Thinking their opinion perspective is also everyone else's, thinking no one does that because they don't do that. Everyone puts their cereal at the top of the pantry, That's just where it goes, my sister, yeah, not me. Not understanding analogies very well. They have a conspicuously small spread of skills for such a high-level wizard. All I need is fireball. If someone disagrees, fireball. If someone agrees, fireball. If someone is ambivalent, fireball. You would not believe it, but spell slots open at the end of the day, fireball. Whenever I have a problem, I just cast fireball and then I have a completely different problem. A wizard with the intelligence of Jason Mendoza is a scary thought. Not capable of understanding a nuanced point. I think the complete opposite, and there is no middle ground. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. The inability, or unwillingness, to change one's opinion when confronted with new information. If a person just digs their heels in no matter how much they're proven wrong on a given topic, they're an idiot. I think it is also pride. Some people just hate being wrong and admitting to it, even if they know they are. Let's not forget about cognitive dissonance. The uncomfortable feeling one gets when trying to reconcile conflicting beliefs. This new info doesn't feel right. Especially since I know this old info is true. It's true, isn't it? Why wouldn't it be true? Arg, let's just ignore the new info. Mocking or making fun of people who want to learn more or get a higher education. To piggyback on this, people who mock others who are intelligent but weren't able to get a higher education. Assuming that they can't be intelligent unless they follow the traditional education path. Yep. I know a guy who seems to think that intelligence comes from, like, how much trivia you've memorized. Like, no, I can't name all the US presidents in order. That doesn't mean I'm a moron. For sure, confusing rote memorization with learning is a definite sign of a jelly brain. I read this as jelly bean, and I decided that's my new favorite phrase for idiots. I've noticed that the dumber someone is, the dumber they assume everyone else is. Smarter people will often try to see the other side of an argument, assuming there's nothing else at play, like low self-esteem. People with lower intelligence often assume that people who disagree with them are simply dumb because they imagine their arguments to be dumb. Likewise, people that lie, steal, cheat, etc. also tend to assume everyone else does or would given the chance. Uses only empty buzzwords in their conversations. I've got a coworker who only communicates in phrases like situational awareness and following breadcrumbs and asks for meetings to amplify our synergy. This person was promoted beyond their level of competence and has no idea how to do the job. I do love the term situation awareness though. Some people truly lack it. This term was thrown around a lot in my military days. My fiancé and I speak to each other in corporate when someone uses a buzzword and we want to make lighthearted fun of each other. Let's take that offline. Can we table this discussion? Can we circle back, drill down? I'll correspond with you on that. Edit. Yes, all of the responses also have great corporate bullshit. I use it day to day, but also can make fun of myself for using it. My manager uses circle back all the time. It 910 times means I acknowledge what you're saying but will forget about it after this meeting. Let's pop that on the back burner for now. This idea will never resurface. Just like your last 20 suggestions. The inability to extrapolate from missing #X200B, 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 edit, and apparently the inability to perform error correction while reading. Missing what? There are two types of people in this world. Those who can extrapolate from incomplete data. Thinking that they're always right, not admitting when they're wrong. What if I'm an idiot who always admits to being wrong? Then you're the smart one after all. Absolutely no curiosity about anything. Extending to an actual disdain of curiosity itself. Why would you want to know that? That's dumb and pointless. What are you going to need to learn for? That's dumb and pointless. What are you going to need to learn for? Now that's a real one. Obsessing over an IQ score, edit, holy hell, that blew up. I've never woken up to 90+ AskReddit notifications. Yes. I had a guy in college who kept bragging he has an IQ of 110. I was like, dude. Best part is that for college graduates that is 5 points below average. I know. That's why I was like, dude. Yeah, but it's above 100, 100 is the max, right? Right?